You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Let's get back to SailGP, and the boats, or some of them are out on the water at the moment. They're taking turns getting their practice done ahead of 3 o'clock and racing starting. But taking time out from that is Emirates Great Britain driver Giles Scott. Giles, thanks for stopping in so close to race time. Talk us through your afternoon yesterday. A bit frustrating?
Exactly that. It's just frustrating all around, wasn't it? Especially off the back of a pretty interesting practice day for us. We were, it's fair to say, even more desperate to get racing than we normally are, with a few wrongs to right. But disappointing we couldn't get those races in yesterday, and hopefully today the waters are clear and we get three in. What
happened on practice day? Obviously a collision. Can you talk us through it?
It was pretty annoying and frustrating incident from our standpoint, and to be frank, the blame sits pretty firmly with us, port starboard. We had to give way to the Spanish boat, and on these F50s there's a blind spot through the back of the jib and through the mast of the boat, and the Spanish were just perfectly lined up in that on starboard, and we hadn't had any eyes on them and just missed them until it was too late. And to be honest, it could have been a lot worse than what it was.
So a points deduction for this event and for the series. How much of a dent does that put in your chances?
It's a major. It is a major. We can't kind of get away from that. But I think our approach now has to just shift to take every race as it comes, and the points are going to look after themselves one way or another. And for sure, it's in terms of the season outlook, it's certainly not got any rosier. But we'll keep fighting.
You took over as driver from Sabine Ainsley midway through the series, obviously. How was that? Was it a bit of a baptism of fire for you, or were you ready for that?
I'm still in the baptism of fire right now. Like it's still going. It's still burning. But I've done 2 regattas previous to this one. First one was super light, and to be honest, was a bit of a non-event. No foiling, barely even flying one hull. And then Sydney, the last event, kind of felt like my first proper event, and we lost a few training days here and there. So it's not been the easiest apprenticeship that I'm serving into the league, but I think we're all pretty positive about what can come. We just want to keep racing and get into it.
Fantastic. Just want to ask you about your success in the Finn class. Your incredible success in the Finn class, double Olympic gold. What was it about you and that class that gave you such a great synchronicity and success?
I don't know. I am pretty fortunate to roll out of the British program. I had I used to race against Ainsley. Had a bit of a duke out for the London selection, which I lost. And I think that as a kind of framework for the Rio and Tokyo cycle was pretty powerful. A lot of good guys, good British squad, and I was just the fortunate one, I suppose, to rise to the top, get selection. And from the British perspective in the Finn, if you were able to qualify, you often ended up being a favourite going into the games, and that's kind of how it went. And I managed to get a couple goals.
I think you're underplaying it slightly, but I do like the modesty. It seems to me across SailGP, something that's a theme is that a lot of you have done a lot of different sailing in a lot of different classes, a lot of different kinds of boats. Are there truisms that hold firm across all types of sailing, apart from getting across the line first, I mean?
There is, and I think the perfect example is comparing the Finn racing that I did sailing around at 4 knots and sailing that I've done in the league, SailGP and America's Cup class yachts as well. It's about as different as it can be in terms of speed, but the principles hold true. And actually, in a lot of ways, it's very easy to make mistakes in racing like this in the SailGP, and it's really a game of doing the simple things very, very well. And it's a bit easier said than done.
And just to illustrate the point, of course, you're aboard the British Challenge for the America's Cup in Barcelona later on in the year. How are you tracking for that?
Yeah, it's an exciting time. Not too long till we start seeing big boats from all the teams, and it's going to be a full-on 6 months or so. And yeah, just from a personal perspective, super lucky to be able to be involved in SailGP and the Cup, and I think they can only be mutually beneficial to one another, and just keen to take lessons from both, and hopefully both can be a success for us.
Great to meet you, mate. All the best this afternoon. I hope you got some dolphin repellent spray or whatever it is that keeps them away, and we get some racing in this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm certainly hopeful myself as well.
Great to see you, mate. Thanks for popping in.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.